writing room. I'm getting the feeling they're not going to actually read out my poem, and I'm not going to get to do it. And I don't want to move on to whatever next, like, they're going to, like, I'll read Monica's, and then they're just going to move me on to whatever next event, and I don't want that to happen. And also, just the way she's like, it doesn't evoke emotion. It's kind of like, I feel a little attacked. I took time and effort into this. I think my poem's better than yours. So, I have to say, yeah, I guess that's just, yeah, whatever. Anyway, so this is the poem that, again, from the ad lib that was allowed. I went through it when I was watching my video just to make sure it was okay. Again, it's 20 words, and that's all I could do is pick from a word bank. Feather heartbeat, journey happiness, dream together, fun embrace, sunset bubbles, treasure extraordinary, heart special, electricity waterfall, prayer heaven sent, promise destiny. To me, that is not the standard poetry formula, but poems can be written in any way or without any algorithm or, form. It's definitely not an iambic pentameter, I don't think. But I took the time and effort to think about it and try to do the best I could with what I had. And my aim was to go for one character, but that didn't necessarily happen because I didn't realize that basically they want me to pick a string of words that would specifically relate to the individual character, which I don't know very well, and that I don't know, I think that's what they wanted, and I picked a poem, the closest thing I could form to a poem that sort of I liked, and I don't think it's terrible, I think it's actually okay. So, I'm biased because I wrote it, but still, I didn't get to write full sentences, so yeah. But I'll show my poem to Monica and see hers and see how that goes. Hey, Technique. Having a good time so far? See, she always seems so nice. It's just like, thank you for coming in and being part of this club. We probably wouldn't have ever thought to even do this whole poetry thing if you hadn't shown up, and this was a really good group building exercise. Like, she just has that vibe to her. Yeah. Good. Glad to hear it. Does sound a little plasticky, but okay. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. See, she sounds kind of distant, but professional, and like she cares very much about the thing and wants me to feel included and appreciates that I'm here. She doesn't strike me as much as a romantic interest as much as the rest of the others, I guess. And they also seem to kind of frame her in that light. Like, even the tsundere seems to have more obvious interest in me. But easily the neighbor has the most. But that's obvious. But, okay. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. You're kind of in charge. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. It's like, ma'am, this is my second day. You are in charge here. Thank you for being so hospitable and patient. But all of us knew that there was a chance I wouldn't show up today, and all of us knew that even if I did, I might not write a poem. And all of us knew that chances are my poem wouldn't be very good. I'm just helping being a part of it, and I think I did a good job. So, yay for me, but thank you, and my guy shouldn't be so scared, but he is. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. She's the only one that has a pose like this. Don't worry, Technique. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? See, that's a very supportive, good thing to say. But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. See? We're all team building. You know, they already probably had a thing gelled, but the group needs to grow, and I'm probably upsetting that balance in numbers of ways. And she's being super cool and trying to restore the balance, and that's good. Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem. I like this one. It makes me think of something Sayori would like. Okay, you're not wrong. Is that so? You and Sayori are really good friends, right? I wouldn't be surprised if you two had those things in common. Ah, well, I mean, also, we both don't write poetry, and, you know, it sort of makes sense. We may be good friends, but Sayori and I are actually really different. Well, that may be the case, but maybe there's also some similarities that you wouldn't expect. The way she talks about you. It sounds like the two of you really care about each other's well-being. It's like, I mean, we are neighbors and have known each other for freaking ever, so yeah, it seems like that would definitely be a factor. Even if you show it in different ways, it ends up being more similar than you'd think. So I think that's the kind of vibe I get when reading your poem. You sure you're not reading into it too much? It wasn't even directed at her, but okay. Could be. Oh gosh, I sound like Yuri. But, in any case, Sayori's writing has a kind of gentle feel to it. I can tell that she likes exploring with emotions, like happiness and sadness. Who knew that someone so happy could enjoy sad things too? Yeah, that was totally unexpected. Well, to each their own. And you shouldn't be afraid to experiment a little bit either. I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot. It could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this. Again, the first time. That's okay. I'd love to see you try new things. It's the best way to find the kind of style that suits you. Everyone else might be a little biased towards their own kinds of styles, but I'll always help you find what suits you the most. So don't force yourself to write the way everyone else wants you to write. I wrote the way I wanted to write, but with a goal towards an individual, and I don't think I succeeded. But that's okay. I'm not sure what would have made a difference. It's not like you have to worry about impressing them or anything. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good. Everyone basically claims to not be very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know? I see. Well, let's read it then. Okay, I'm already like, hole in the wall is your title. That's an unusual choice there. Hole in the wall. It couldn't have been me. See the direction the spackle protrudes? A noisy neighbor, an angry boyfriend? I'll never know. I wasn't home. I peer inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I reel, blind, like a film left out in the sun. But it's too late. My retinas, already scorched with a permanent copy of the meaningless image. It's just a little hole. It wasn't too bright. It wasn't too deep. Stretching forever into everything. A hole of infinite choices. I realize now I wasn't looking in, I was looking out. And he, on the other side, was looking in. Okay. Interesting. I need more background to really understand it. Yeah, I'm not gonna analyze that without more information. It's weird. So what do you think? It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. It's okay. Yeah, what kind of style? That kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be very powerful. That is very true. You could take the dry words on a page, and when performed, can completely change a lot of it. You know? Everything, really. What was that? What was the inspiration behind this one? It's like, it kind of sounds like some sort of a domestic abuse happened somewhere. Like, either you blacked out and forgot that you are Kyle who drinks Monster energy drink and punched a wall when blind rage, or you have thin walls and somebody on the other side did that and you don't understand it, but then you look through it and it messed you up, so you saw something you shouldn't see, or I don't know. There's a lot of ways to interpret that. Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I've had kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with everybody, with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. That's a pretty solid point. I think there's very few times that doesn't apply. The reality is you can come back to it, as long as it's not one of those plot points that determines everything, like a character death or, you know, the ending or something. Like, you can come back, and, you know, even then you could come back, but it's just like you might undo all your work. So it makes more sense to, you know, but, you know, take the time to try and don't get stuck on something. Just force yourself to get something down on a paper and tidy it up later. That's not terrible advice. That's good advice. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big, dark puddle of ink. Depending on the type of pen, yeah. So just move your hand and go with the flow. Alright, that seems pretty cool. I feel you. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Alright, I'm starting a new thing, so I'm going to end it because I got through everybody's poem, and I read my poem, and Monica's a little strange, and so was, you know, Short Stack. I liked everybody else's, and I liked them kinda. It's just feels like there's more going on there, and I expected more from the arrogant tininess. But alright. Yeah, back inside.